Today, we're diving into the world of no-code tools because I spent weeks testing out some of the most talked about platforms, and I'm here to break down the pros, the cons, and who they're best suited for. Whether you're building a marketing site, a full-scale web app, or just exploring, this video is for you. We'll be covering Webflow, Toddle, Wix Studio, Versoly, Framer, Webstudio, Divhunt, and of course, Pinegrow. Timestamps will be below if you want to jump ahead, so let's get started. I will say I have specific videos on all of these solutions. This is meant to be an overarching feel of the tool, but if you do want a deep dive, I'll try and leave links in the description below or up in the cards. Webflow is a powerful visual development environment. It kind of kickstarted it all. Webflow is widely recognized as providing you control over layout, styling, and interactions while generating clean HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Class-based styling, unlike Framer and some other tools that avoid reusable classes, Webflow follows a traditional class system, making it in line with standard front-end web development practices. Webflow's CMS is one of the strongest features, allowing dynamic content structures ideal for blogs, portfolios, and content-heavy marketing websites. It offers a seamless publishing experience with built-in hosting, making it a one-stop solution for all of your website needs, including maintenance. While Webflow is a no-code tool, it does allow for adding HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for added flexibility. Many of the tools we'll go over are missing powerful interactions, but Webflow's is only going to get better. So a feature that's been released fairly recently on Webflow is page templates, which if we go here and actually add a page, create a new page template. This is going to be page template. This is going to be great for marketers to be able to have pre-existing page templates, drag and drop pre-designed components that they've had built for them. So as an example, if we go back to the home page here, we take I think this is the header here, template, we'll whack that in here. Element needs to be selected to paste into, there we go. And we've got this new element called a page slot. And if we whack this open here, this is going to be the area that you've designated to wrap all of the components inside of there. So this will be the only area that you can drag and drop components into. So if we just do this, maybe, actually we'll do a max width of 1024 as an example. Auto. This will be the area. Actually, I'll do a padding at top as well. Do that, something like that. Okay, so here I've created a page template, and this is going to be the area that we're going to utilize. So what I can do now is create a new page from that template, test, whatever. And the components are then able to, I mean, I've only got a few components really on this site, but actually, to be fair, it's in the build mode. This will be the specific role that you need to give someone to enable them to have builder thing. And you can see that even as a builder, I'm able to just drag and drop components in here, move them around and things like that. And you can see as well, I'm able to mess around with variants that have been pre-set up on these components. So it's a really, I think it's got a variant as well. It's a really powerful way to give marketers and people who are overwhelmed with the design interface the ability to build out pages. Now, the problems with Webflow is that it's kind of complex for beginners. Compared to tools like Framer, which we'll get into, Webflow is a steeper learning curve due to its class-based system and web development concepts. Webflow is one of the more expensive solutions we'll be going over, especially for teams on their enterprise plan. As with all tools, there is a ceiling on a lot of the functionality that it offers. Webflow does have some CMS limitations, which I've personally run across, but it is one of the most flexible and still a great all-round package. So realistically, who should be choosing Webflow? Well, I think marketing websites and landing pages is perfect for designers and agencies who need a balance of design flexibility and structured content management. Content-driven websites like blogs, portfolios, and dynamic content websites benefit from these CMS features. And designers who want development control, Webflow is ideal for those who want pixel-perfect control without coding but still adhere to web development practices. And businesses that are growing who want hassle-free websites that's easily updatable, who don't mind spending that little bit more. Overall, Webflow is a very flexible system, a very powerful system, but the learning curve is very steep and it can ultimately cost you a little bit more for its very powerful features. Wix Studio is designed for agencies and enterprise that need more flexibility, combining powerful no-code tools with full code capabilities for those who want to take things further. Along with the usual CMS stuff we've come to expect from all of these platforms, I've mentioned previously that in particular I like the Airtable-like CMS functionality in their editor. Being able to drag and drop and reorder is a particular highlight of mine, but with that, let's dive a little bit deeper. One of the biggest standouts in Wix Studio is its motion and effects system. It offers cinematic effects, mouse-triggered animations, and looping animations that run natively in the browser for smooth performance without heavy scripts. Plus, specifically, it includes a large library of presets so you can create high-end visuals without manually tweaking every setting, which I know a lot of people will like. Then there's the docking system, which I've mentioned in the past, which is a different approach to responsive design. Instead of manually adjusting breakpoints, Wix Studio uses percentage-based layouts, making it easy to create fluid and adapted designs that scale perfectly across screen sizes. Another major advantage of Wix Studio is its fully integrated e-commerce system. Unlike some other platforms where you need third-party plugins, Wix Studio has a complete storefront, inventory management, and payment processing and automation suite built right in. Whether you're selling physical products or digital products or subscriptions, it's a powerful alternative to a dedicated e-commerce solutions like Shopify. On top of that, Wix Studio includes advanced analytics and monitoring tools, giving you real-time insights into the traffic and user behavior and conversion rates, all without needing a third-party tracking script. The built-in dashboard provides heat map sessions, recordings, and detailed funnel analysis, making it easier to optimize your website's performance. Wix Studio also automatically optimizes images and videos, serving the right file formats and resolutions based on the user device. So whether someone visits on a high-res desktop screen or a mobile screen, they get the best quality without unnecessary load time. And those who want to go beyond no code, Velo by Wix lets you write both front-end and back-end JavaScript, integrate APIs, and even install NPM packages. It also syncs with GitHub and VS Code, making it a great option for developers who need a hybrid no-code, full-code solution. And if you've been watching a lot of my recent videos, I've been talking a lot about cursor and vibe coding development. So in theory, you could bring down your Wix Studio code and vibe code the heck out of that thing. Where do you even start with Wix Studio? I've got my sites here, which are just some demo sites I've been playing around with. You can create mobile apps here, which is insane. I actually have not seen this before, so that's pretty cool. It's a Swiss Army knife of features, right? So if you go into sites here and click into my site, right at the box, you can see we've got marketing, analytical information here, analytics in general, automations and stuff like that. Click into the CMS and you'll see this Airtable-like CMS that I've created before, dragging and dropping, which is actually strangely tricky on other systems. Now you've got monitoring and logging as developers. But what if we actually edit the site? Wow, I really left this in a bit of a state if we just delete that. Clicking on these and then going to the interactions panel here and preview that. Again, really cool little animations that you just don't need to write any code for. And if I rescale, if I make this smaller, you can see that things scale proportionately, which is something that you have to write a lot of CSS for, but they've done something clever. If we try and look here and we get the width, you see there's a asterisk there next to the pixels because we've set the width as 482, but actually what this really is doing is a percentage-based system where it's calculating the percentage width of the browser and then rescaling according to that. So you don't really need to think about anything when it comes to responsivity. And just to touch on their coding language, Velo, you see this window at the bottom here and this onReady function. You can write JavaScript-like code. You might recognize that from something like jQuery to do everything you expect with JavaScript. What's interesting is up here, we can actually write backend and public code, which looks and feels like Velo, which looks and feels like JavaScript, but it runs on the back end. And like I say, you can write public API. Well, this is a public API here that your mobile app can consume the same data as the website itself. So it's a really powerful coding system that, as I say, synchronizes with GitHub. So you can download, look at it in VS Code or Cursor and use AI to write some really, really interesting code. Wix Studio is ideal for agencies and businesses looking for enterprise-grade website builder with advanced design and animation capabilities. Designers who want high-end visuals with an intuitive workflow while still having the option to extend functionality when necessary, and developers who want the convenience of no-code but still need the ability to customize using JavaScript APIs and GitHub. E-commerce brands that want a built-in storefront with automation and analytics to streamline their online sales. And while it does have a learning curve, especially with its docking system, the trade-off is a powerful, scalable platform that can handle everything from simple marketing websites to full-fledged e-commerce stores and business dashboards. If you're looking for a flexible, all-in-one solution that balances no-code ease with developer-friendly customization, Wix Studio is definitely worth checking out. And thank you, Wix Studio, for sponsoring this video and allowing me to do deep dives on these sorts of topics. Toddle is a no-code platform for building web applications. I was pleasantly surprised with the tool. It's actually a really mature and polished UI. It's clean, fast, and feels great to use. Also, it has built-in apps like Spline and an AI helper. Something you have to pay extra for in things like Webflow is branching. This makes it easier to collaborate and update things in a controlled way. I also love its node-based JavaScript designer that eliminates the need to write code. You're basically able to put together JavaScript functions and manipulate data all through a node graphical-based solution. So let's take you through this node-based JavaScript nonsense that I spoke about. So I've created a new branch here that I'm going to convert this weather widget from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And so if I go into this here, I can click on this effects icon, which presumably gets added to any kind of piece of text or whatever. You can apply this to any text. And you can see they've got a weather widget here collecting the actual temperature, well, obviously weather and things like that. Now, this could be a data source from anywhere. It could be an API call from your CMS. It could be any data from a database. Now, it's coming in at Celsius at 19.65. I want to change this to Fahrenheit. So what I want to do is I'm going to add a multiplier here, because if you times Celsius by 1.8, you will get the number in Fahrenheit. So we've got our widget, we've got our data source here putting in the temperature in Celsius is 19.65. It's rounding it to, obviously that's going to be what, like 20 degrees. And then we're timesing that 20 degrees, or we're timesing that round number by 1.8 and concatenating that the C here. So we're going to change that to Fahrenheit here. And then we should get the output as 36 degrees Fahrenheit. And lo and behold, we're seeing that here. So this is the idea. Now you can do tons more with this. And if you just look through this array of just so many things you can do with the data, you can chop it up, you can move it around. It means you can do stuff without actually knowing any sort of JavaScript. I really like this. It's going to be a real game changer for those who want to write complex JavaScript functions that don't want to learn how to do it. A really important aspect to particularly web apps and websites is the pre-rendered API calls, which Toddle has. It boosts SEO by making API calls before the page loads. What I also really like is the web components. You can create embeddable components for other sites like Wix Studio, like Framer. My only cons around this tool is that the UI is a little bit too minimal. It lacks clarity and makes navigation tricky. I noticed it didn't have CSS grid, only Flexbox and text alignment options. It also lacks a lightweight CMS, relies on third-party CMS options, but you could see this as a pro as it enables a lot of flexibility. I think it's best for web app builders who want powerful, structured no-code tool who don't mind some limitations in design flexibility. Versoly is a lightweight, Tailwind-powered no-code builder that impressed me with its flexibility because it uses Vue under the surface. I really liked its Tailwind integration because it speeds up prototyping with utility classes. And as I say, it uses Vue.js, which gives deep code access and flexibility if you already know it. And I personally had interactions with its founder, who's highly responsive and engages with people on Twitter and is really looking for feedback. So it's an opportunity for you to have an impact on the tool. I think it's ideal for marketing websites because it's lightweight and customizable. The UI needs work, not as intuitive as other platforms, and because it's a solo dev, it does feel like it has limited support. I think it's best for developers and designers who love Tailwind and Vue and want no code tool with raw code flexibility. Framer is one of the most hyped no-code platforms compared to Webflow. Its code components allow powerful React-based interactions. Minimal UX removes class-based styling for a cleaner experience. It's also cheaper than Webflow in some cases. It's ideal for marketing and landing pages. Its Figma-like experience is more tailored towards designers and their existing workflows. Here we go. Does Framer need much introduction? But look, you've got this very, very Figma-like experience here, scrolling in and out. Obviously, the key feature for me on this thing is add a new code component here called hello. And you're jumped into a very familiar thing if you know React, and you can do everything you'd expect to do inside of React, including importing libraries and things like this that renders before the page loads. If you use use effects, I wonder if it's got code completion here. No, it doesn't, but if you were to use use effects and if you follow my course, then you'll know what this is all about. This will actually load after the page loads, but that's by the nature of the use effect function. It's nothing to do with Framer, but this becomes very, very powerful, and you can have inputs. I don't have any examples to show. Here we go. If we go this, paste this in here, and save this. Go back out here, add our component here, which is just a blue square, but we've got inputs here, so we can add data fetching here as well to bring in sort of, I don't know, in this case emojis or something like that, or we can just write our code whatever we want, and props text here. We zoom in, there's my text. Hello Sam. There we go. Some of the downsides is there's limited CMS and integrations. It's not great for complex dynamic websites unless you're going to dive into the no-code world and create React components, which I actually have a course on, which can help you understand React a lot more in the context of no-code. You can check that out on my patreon.com/0x5am5, link down in the description. Another thing I don't really like is that its terminology is unique, although it is becoming more ubiquitous. Concepts like stacks and frames don't really translate well to traditional dev teams. And it's a low functional ceiling. So it's good for designs, but lacks powerful back-end integrations and plugins and things like this that really puts that ceiling on what the sorts of websites it can develop. I personally think it's the best for designers who need fast, simple, and beautiful marketing websites with some coding capabilities. Webstudio is another no-code platform that's getting a lot of hype recently, and I've got a lot of videos already on it. It's another Webflow alternative that lets you escape the ecosystem of Webflow, and that's really important because it's just a designer. There's no CMS, meaning you can integrate your own, you can use variables and things like that to kind of imitate a CMS, but again, the flexibility to add your own later on is a personal pro of mine. It's great for API calls because once again, data loads before the page loads, unlike Webflow, which is strictly front end. React's component library is particularly cool. I don't personally use it, but these are built-in components with accessibility in mind. They're very, very powerful. It's self-hosting as well, so you can host it on Versoly or Netlify for free, or it has one free website in its plan. Another aspect which is becoming very important, even more important nowadays, is the open source aspect of it. You can run the builder on your own server and run it locally. So if Webstudio disappears one day, you can still run the builder in its current form that you've downloaded and then still host your website. There's nothing particularly stand out about Webstudio. It's just a great all-round tool, but maybe I can just show you a website project that I've built for a friend. Now, this is using the desktop app, which is immediately a pro as a desktop version of the app. It's just a web app, but ultimately we've got the website here, which if we have a look up here to main, an Instagram grid, I suppose I'll show you the actual version. So you scroll down and then the images get loaded, and this is done through synchronization with Airtable, and when X New Worlds posts on Instagram, it automatically syncs to Airtable. We've also got CMS access for exhibitions, features, and portfolio here. That syncs, this still syncs from Instagram. And if we go to here, we've got this is a collection list element, which fetches securely from Airtable with an authorization key. This means it's like super secure, which is great. This is the sort of stuff I love, being able to interact with any API, pull in any sort of data and use it however you want. So it's really clever like that. Other standout things, I guess, are these are their components, but they call them, I've even forgotten what they call them to be honest, slots. We've got the About page here, which again just loads from that CMS. And there's a marketplace here full of pages, sections, integrations, and things like that, which if you don't know how to do those from a code perspective or whatever, they've got integrations already built in. So really clean, really simple tool. It's got more than enough CSS parameters that you need. If you need anything more, then you can add them down here on the advanced thing. And as I say, you can publish, but what we've done is through the CLI, download it, upload it to Versoly, because we very rarely make changes to this website now, to be honest, so we can go with that workflow. What I'd really like to see is some sort of webhook functionality that if I click publish, it shoots off a webhook, which I can have something then pull down and automatically deploy the app. That's a little feature request there for your Web Studio. But I love the guys. They've always been very responsive and always been very positive towards my content, which is really good. But yeah, Web Studio. There is no built-in interactions, although I'm excited to see there are some coming. So it's not really ideal for animation-heavy sites as I record this video right now, but watch this space. There's fewer elements as well than Webflow. You may need to write more custom code to get more of the elements that you want. You also need to be somewhat technical in general, particularly if you're going to self-host. I personally think it's best for designers who want Webflow's design freedom but prefer to use external CMS and hosting options. Still, building marketing websites, building web apps, Web Studio is a great solution. Divhunt is an interesting hybrid between Webflow and Bubble. It has fine-grained controls, lots of customization over elements and styles. There's unlimited collections, which is great. There's no cap on that whatsoever. Has REST API integrations, connects easily to other third-party tools and data sources. Has looping and repeaters inspired by WordPress for dynamic content. And it's good for team projects because it's got some great collaboration stuff in there. Something that I don't like is that it's got no interactions. Once again, it requires third-party plugins to do all that. They've gone down this single-page application route, which they argue that it's actually okay, and Google renders JavaScript now, which I know to be true, but again, there's nothing like having all of the HTML on the page ready when it loads. And Divhunt relies heavily on JavaScript to lazy load sections of the website, which I saw as a major downside. They do offer pre-rendering, but these are only on the more expensive plans. I think Divhunt's great for web apps and dashboard-based interfaces where SEO really isn't a concern. If you followed the channel long enough, you know I went through a stint of loving Pinegrow for building specific marketing websites. I really think if you're looking to build themes inside of WordPress, Pinegrow is a fantastic tool. It basically offers every single element you could ever want. It's basically a free roam, no code solution that allows you to build what you want, however you want, with a really advanced animation library powered by GSAP. It has a very engaged community as well. And most importantly, you own the code. Whereas all of the other solutions we spoke of right now, you don't truly own the code in its raw form. You need some sort of package builder. But Pinegrow generates the HTML, the raw HTML files that you can upload and do whatever you want with. The downsides to this, of course, is that you need a strong coder knowledge on how to build a website itself. It doesn't guide you, it doesn't abstract anything from you. It's literally what you see is what you get. You don't get CMS, you don't get anything like that. The closest thing to a CMS is the fact that you can build themes that are powered by WordPress. Once again, not a lot to show you. I just run through the interface. This is actually my company website, which if we take a look at it, I mean, this is the dark mode version because I'm in a private window or whatever. So it'll look a little bit different, but this is basically a WordPress template. So you'll see a lot of, and we've also got a lot of things animating in from zero opacity. So that's why you're seeing a lot of blank, no text and things like that. But it's a very, very powerful tool. A lot of criticism around the UI. I personally don't really mind it as long as I'm getting the work done, but you've got here your elements that you can pull in. You can also create your own. By either searching or literally creating your own. You can write pug and things like that. So here's my source here. The actual pages themselves, you can see are HTML, but when you click export or you save, it renders out into a PHP theme, duplicating the draft, and it actually renders out as what WordPress needs for a theme to be able to run. The animation library is also incredible. I think there's some stuff on this. Let's check this button here and click on interactions, edit interaction. This is actually all powered by GSAP, and you've got this timeline timeline window here, which again, very, very, very powerful. So as I say, Pinegrow is great for either static websites that you can host yourself and it's very cheap to do so, or you're building a WordPress theme. All right, so what's the verdict? If you're a technical designer or need advanced functionality and integration in a marketing website, Webflow is your guy. If you want structured app-focused builder, Toddle is great. For agencies and larger organizations needing full stack capabilities, I really think Wix Studio is worth considering. If you love Vue and Tailwind, Versoly is your best bet. And for fast, elegant marketing websites, Framer is excellent. If you want a Webflow alternative with flexible CMS options, Webstudio is a great fit. But if you're building a web app and love WordPress style loops, Divhunt is a solid pick. As I say, Pinegrow is great for developers who just want assistance by no code, and also anyone that's kind of on a WordPress website already. So there we go. Let me know which tool you're most excited about, or which thing you think will win this kind of race that we're in right now. Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon if you haven't, and thank you to everyone here who's already subscribed to me. I really appreciate your support. And until next time, happy no coding.